Hey, y'all. Welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to ensure that whatever platform you're on, you can hear me. I'm excited to share just kind of the final recap of P.O.U.R. I know I've been posting since Saturday or Friday night. Hey, thank you. And I wanted to just kind of come on and give a verbal recap so that you guys can hear my heart and really understand what it was about, why it was the season for me to start this and launch this. Hey. Um, and what's next? A lot of people have been saying, what's next? What are you doing next? Where do we go? What happens after this? So, first and foremost, the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to actually talk about some of the amazing people who help support the vision as well. I want to thank, first, I want to thank God. I just want to thank Him for just giving me the vision, trusting me with the vision, and trusting that at some point I would execute it. If you were there, you know that it took me a very long time to execute this vision. I started, stopped, got scared, stopped again, started again, and it just got to a place where God said, "Do this or else," and that or else was kind of strong for me in my life. So I said, "Well, let I can either do one or two things: do what I profess to do, which is follow God, or not." And hey, Andrew said, "Yes, what is next?" So if you were a guest there, please go ahead and tap in. Let us know, just give me one or two words that in the chat really showcased how you felt about that evening, about Friday evening. I When God gave me this vision, He originally gave it to me. If as most of you know, I did mention that P.O.U.R is an extension of a mastermind group that I had. When I decided to do the P.O.U.R Mastermind, I really was at a place where I said, I want people to really understand how I plan. That's what, I like that word, necessary. That's what the mastermind was about, really planning your marketing, PR, and media strategy for the year, and for the upcoming year. And a part of my strategy is taking my plans back to the Lord. And so God was like, well, if you're going to show them your strategy, if you're going to give them the plan, they have I don't even have it up here. If you're in that mastermind, I think it's like almost a 50 or 60 page workbook that they work through to do their planning. Like it's in depth. Like we don't play any games within this mastermind group, but a part of that is taking the plans back to the Lord. So I had structured this event for them. And then what God said is, no, I want you to open this up to entrepreneurs. I want you to open this up to entrepreneurs, because this isn't just what you do for marketing. This is what you do as a conglomerate of when you're mapping out any plan that you have, you bring it to me. And if you're going to show people how you do what you do, you need to show them all parts and all pieces of it. And so that's where this came. And then I was like, okay, worship is a thing for me. I worship, I fast, I pray. If you are connected to me in a close format, you know that I will shut it down. You know that I worship a lot, and you know that I fast a lot. If you've ever been to my house and been at a space where I've let you into my bedroom space, you'll go in my bathroom and you'll see that I have communion cups sitting in the bathroom. Like, I don't play no games. Like, when I say I love Jesus and I'm doing it, I'm for real. And I wanted to showcase that. So the mastermind was 6 weeks, because I realized within the 6 weeks that it was so in depth that there's no way that this could be 6 weeks. The next time we do it, it has to be spaced out. And with that, in the middle of that, so they'll do their plan, and then we'll have P.O.U.R, and then there's some other things that they have that they do after that, which is what I'm calling our secret sauce. So I'm not going to publicly say what that is. You just have to be in a mastermind to figure that out. So we do the mastermind, they get their strategy, and then we take those strategies to the Lord at P.O.U.R. So that's why it was a one-time occurrence a year. because it comes after my mastermind students have written out their plans, and then we're presenting those plans before the Lord. That's why that is. We've just allowed, God has just given us the grace, hey, Patrick, to open it up to entrepreneurs. So if you have a plan, we want you to bring the plan, and we want you to present your plans to the Lord. And I wanted to create an intimate space for people to really focus on themselves. We have, in this space, there were a lot of influencers in the room. There are a lot of, higher profile people in our local area that were in the room. And I did not want them to feel like they had to come to work. I wanted them to have a space to lay down before the Lord. I wanted them to have a space to just release. And that's what happened. That's what God showed me. And I was going to make sure we executed that plan. Ate your hot water. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you, my staff will tell you, I was like, look, this cannot happen here. This cannot happen here. This cannot happen here. Your job is to make sure that it doesn't, but this can happen here. This can happen here. And this can happen here. So when God finally got me to a place of submission, let's say that, to actually execute this plan, I said, oh my gosh, it's worship. I can hold a note. Okay. Now on that video, y'all, that y'all heard, I was just so excited. I was screaming, and I was so excited that they sang my favorite song right now first. So I was just hollering. Okay. So don't listen to that as an example of my singing abilities. I do got a little tone. I said, who do I call? And I had to call none other, and I'm going to give him his flowers now. Then I call him my baby. He calls me Ma. Alonzo Bickers. He was our music director, our MD for this experience. There's nobody else that I would have wanted to execute this with other than Alonzo. We have known each other, oh gosh, well over maybe 10 years now, and we've seen each other at our happiest and worst times. And I knew that he would take my vision. Alonzo's a very creative, so he was like, let's do this, and let's do this. And I was like, nah, we can do that, but we can't do this. Let me take it to the Lord. Let me see. But I knew that at the end of the day, it would be executed with excellence. He knows my standard. He knows, and I know his standard. And I knew that without a shadow of a doubt that, I kept saying, even through the planning, I kept saying, Lonzo. And he was like, I got you, Ma. I got you. Don't worry. And I'm like, okay, I know that you do. And he brought in the assistant for AB Keys Entertainment, which is Christian. Now, Christian was my right-hand man for the last maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months in this experience, probably the whole time. That baby, Christian, I kept saying, I text him, Christian, I can't do this. We can't do this. Christian, what about this? Christian, what about this? Christian, let me talk to the people. Christian, email the people. Like, I know I was in his behind, and he was getting on my nerve. I was getting on his nerves. And now he wasn't getting on my nerves. I know I was getting on his nerves, but he was so amazing, so considerate. He made sure that I felt secure. He reassured me. And he reassured me that he understood the vision. And so to the AB Keys Entertainment staff, the band, I'll actually talk about the lead singers in a moment. I just want to thank you guys for your spirit of excellence. I want to thank you guys for your preparation and just being ready and willing. What I got from a lot of the participants was like, yo, who are those people? The band was amazing. And that's what I wanted. I wanted them to bring you through the music into the presence of God. We preset the atmosphere. Already. We made sure that prayer had already taken place in the space before anybody came in there. We preset the atmosphere, and I made sure that was done. And we just made sure that we made an atmosphere for worship and to truly lay your plans before the Lord and to give you time to hear what God is saying and to be able to write down what God is saying and just to be able to be in an open space. Like, I think at some point, if you were there, you can agree with me or not. Like, I even forgot other people was in the room. There was some times in the space that it was me and God, and I forgot, and I was like, wait, oh, it's my turn. I got to go up there and say something. Like, I was forgetting people were in the room. And if you also know me, you know that I'm a holler. I'm a yes woman. When my yes comes out, that means they saying something good, they singing good. I'm not going yes unless it's a true yes, right? And so I was hollering yes. In the picture that you see me doing like this, that's exactly what I was doing. I was like yes. And Jamara got that. Our amazing photographer and videographer got that. And so it was just really a space um for us to bring our plans before the Lord. So if you were there and you saw the people sitting in the front with the special gifts, those were people who were either a member of the mastermind or they were an instructor for this year's mastermind. I bring in other instructors to help me in their levels of expertise within the mastermind. And so, that's why they were there in that front row. That's why they had the gifts that they had. That's just why. I know people are like, well, who are them people? Yes. And why they get their special seats and the special gifts? That's why they were there. And when it came down to the lead, to be honest, I didn't have any say in who would be the lead worshipers for this experience. I truly left that up to Christian and Alonzo, and they were like, I got you. We got you. And I said, you know what? Okay. They sent the list in the chat. I didn't know who the people were. And what I did not do, which is what I would normally do, was Google them and look them up, because I really wanted them to understand that I trust that they hear, see, and feel my vision, and that they would put the right people in the right place. So I want to go ahead and give them their due just. Mrs. Lou Warner Moore, she's in Tampa, I believe. Yeah, I do believe she's in Tampa, and just amazing. If you notice, she was the one with the braids. Like, she rocked it, y'all. I was like, this lady, where she come from? She come from Tampa, y'all. You sure? Y'all sure? She was just amazing in worship, and bringing in the presence and being able to submit to the vision, and not only submit to the vision, but understand the vision, and be able to discern the atmosphere. She was really able to discern and transition within the atmosphere in an amazing way. And then our lead male was Mr. Heath King. And Heath, I believe, is out of Orlando as well. Not as well, but he's out of Orlando. And so I think, or that area, still in Florida. Of course, most of the video was most people, what's funny is that most people recorded in the beginning. But by the time we got into it, they couldn't even record no more because phones was down, no pictures. I had people saying, I didn't get any pictures. I can't believe I didn't get any pictures, because we really were in the presence of God. And that's what I wanted. I wanted entrepreneurs to be able to really, truly be in the presence of God. It wasn't about who was on the stage, who was on the pulpit, who was on the stage. It wasn't about who was in the room. I wanted it to be a space where it was between you and God, and you and God alone, and that you could just prepare a place, for you to be able to experience that. And they did that, and Heath was amazing. Like that young man, I wanted to. I didn't get to talk to him before he left, but I wanted to be like, baby, who your people? Who your mom and them? Because baby, he was absolutely amazing. And I just thank him and Mrs. Lou Warner, because people don't have to say yes. They didn't know me. I know that they believe and trust in Alonzo and Christian and the team, and so their yes, was to them, and that was important to me, and that when they got there, they executed the vision just as if they knew me, and we had gone over everything. So I was just really excited about just the space in which we were, and how we were able to truly execute the vision from the time, I wanted to think about the experience from the time that people walked into the door, and to the time that they sat down in their seats. It's an area and space that I missed this year that probably people don't even think of, but I got y'all next year. So we have, as you've seen the post, I want you to go ahead and save the date for next year. It is already in the works and in the books. I'm gonna make sure I'm saying it right. It's 1/3/25. Now, why 1/3/25? Simply because this experience will be the first Friday of every year right now until God says no more or God changes it. So 1/3/25, go ahead and lock in that time, that date. Of course, as we move towards closer to the new year, we'll give you more details right now of what it's going to look like as far as registering and things of that nature. But here's the thing. I had to think about, what do we do until then? Like, I also have to think about my level of capacity too, right? And I don't want to start something I cannot finish, being that I'm thankful that we are growing within my business. And so, we have work to do. And so I have to honor those commitments and still honor my family time and things like that. Hey, Warren, you got the date lock? Yes. So, what we're going to do, remember, it is, and I want y'all to post this in the chat, first Friday of every year. Then I want you to post in the chat, first Friday of every month. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So the first Friday of every month will be P.O.U.R Friday. What does that mean? No, we are not getting together. I'm not bringing the band and everybody together and we're going to be worshiping every first Friday. But what we will do is we'll have lives. We'll have scheduled posts. We'll have things that are going on that whole day that will help you. We'll talk to you about your worship and P.O.U.R and your planning. We may have lives with some of the staff and team that were a part of P.O.U.R this year. I have some speakers that I want to come on live and talk to you guys just to encourage you as entrepreneurs on your journey throughout the year. Okay. Because remember, P.O.U.R, the worship experience, was curated for our mastermind students. I have to give most of what I have to them. So this open opportunity will be the first Friday of every month. It'll be something online, most likely. If it, we may have one Friday where we do have like a networking event where we'll come out and maybe do that. We'll see. I'm not sure what that will look like. Do not hold me to that. But if you want to help me with it, holla at me. I just want to make sure that we are, hey, Dad, I just want to make sure that we are continuing to keep the momentum going throughout the year and pour in your spirits. And now, just, you don't need us to do what we did. Let me say that. You don't need us and you don't need me to bring the presence of the Lord into your space. You create a space. The whole point of that was to show you how, but you create a space. What did I tell you guys? How did it start? It starts in my prayer closet at home. I have my Alexa in there. I have a Bible in there. I have a book. I have a little plant. I have a little thing on the wall. Like I'm in my prayer closet. And in that prayer closet is where I submit my plans. Do the same thing. Get your prayer area, get it set up. And on P.O.U.R Fridays, make sure that that's something that you're committing to do. Spend some time in worship, because we're going to come on live, but spend some time in worship and in prayer with the Lord on P.O.U.R Fridays. We may even fast some Fridays. I'll give instructions. Now, here's the kicker. I am not going to give public instruction like on Facebook, like that, like on my main page. Here's what I am going to do so that I can have it scheduled, pre-scheduled, and keep it in order. All right. We have a group on Facebook. It is a marketing, public relations, and media group on Facebook. It is a complimentary free group. you can add yourself to that group. I'm posting worship music, the worship songs from our playlist in there. We have about 20, 30 songs on the playlist that we're pulling from. They'll be on there. I'll post those in there on P.O.U.R Friday. We will go live, just like I'm going live here. It'll be in the group. It'll be on Facebook and on YouTube on P.O.U.R Fridays when we go live. So you'll be able to get it from anywhere else. But to get strategy. Now, as to what we're doing, it will be inside of this group, and I'll post the information in a moment. Now, also, people are also asking me, how do I join the mastermind? The next mastermind is not till September. Okay. The reason being is because it is an 8-month mastermind, and we take those first weeks to do your planning. Then we have P.O.U.R the live worship experience to bring your plans before the Lord. And then we have some things that we do within the first 2 quarters of that next year to pull out the 8 months to make sure that we're doing, looking at our plans, all that kind of stuff. So it will not be until September. Okay. But again, inside of the complimentary mastermind group that I'm going to post here in a minute, if you want to look it up right now, it's called Backstage with the KWI Collective. You can kind of join in there. Inside of that group, I'm giving marketing tips. We give weekly marketing, PR, and media tips. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, a tip poster goes up in there. If you're in that group, please let the people know I ain't lying. Okay, that we do have them scheduled in there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I go live in there giving strategy and tips. There is an opportunity if you're like, hey, Keandra, this is really good, but I really want to work with you a little bit deeper, but I am not at a place where I can purchase, become a client of your firm. You're like, I don't have that type of, there's a middle level experience that you can gain in there, and you can only get access to that middle level experience in that group. There's be a lot of things that'll only be accessed in that group. And so you have a lot of opportunity to just continue to engage with the people that were at P.O.U.R. And I'll, keep the momentum going. But P.O.U.R Fridays, now go ahead and log it in your calendars. The first Friday of every month. I haven't determine the time that we'll go live. It'll be between 7 and 9, just depending on my schedule. I will find a date and I'll find a time on the first Fridays. But guess what? Just so happens the very first Friday that we'll be doing this would be, since we had P.O.U.R this first Friday, right? Is February 2nd, which also happens to be my birthday. I will be 45, the road to 45, which I didn't realize that until about an hour ago when I was pulling out my calendar to look at the first Friday. So it is actually my birthday. So I might do something where, like, we come together that day. If I'll post it in the group. I will not post it publicly, and then we'll maybe go live in the live publicly. But we're going to do something every first Friday. I'm going to bring people in to pray. We may have some people who are worshipers. They may come in on first Friday and sing. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and we're going to play it by ear and play it by God. Okay. And see what he says. But we will be meeting here every first Friday. Now, whatever God has us to do on that first Friday is what he has us to do. But the one thing that I want you to commit to is to worship and, go back to your plans. God, this is what you said. This is what I've been doing. Are we still in alignment? Are we still on, we still eye to eye on this? Is this still what you want me to be doing? Have that worship. And then when we set up a time, I'll have my team create a flyer. You guys will know first Friday, and it'll be like 5, 7, 8, 9, or 10. We'll be live. Okay. And then I'll try to do some other experiences. I'll try to think of some things to do, but I had to find a what's next, but I had to find something that I would be able to maintain, because a lot of times we try to do stuff, to please people because we want to be of support, but it just doesn't fit with where we are in life, and we can't keep it up. And I don't want to do that to you guys. I want you to have something that is consistent throughout the year. If you're in the group, they're the ones that'll be first to know when we do the registration for P.O.U.R next year. They will be the first to know in that group and be the first to be able to register. One of the things we did ask is that if you register, because this was a complimentary experience, which means no one had to pay to get in there, not one person. Okay. People were able to donate and sow if they wanted to, but I didn't want to put any restrictions on people to come and be in the presence of God. I didn't want to put no restrictions in, so that's why I did that. But the thing that I asked is that if you could not make it, to release your ticket, because we had people on the wait list that were like, hey, if people are not coming in the last 30 minutes, let me know and I'll be there. And there were people who got 3, 4, 5 tickets and did not show up. So they are on our list. They are on our, I told them I'm gonna do like they do at the police station. They put your face on the wall in the screen. They are going to be on a list, and we're going to figure out what that's going to look like next year, that they may not be able to register in the beginning, or I may put some type of stipulations around registration, because there were people that did not come because we thought the seats were taken. Nobody was did the right thing, decency and order, like we continue to ask. And so I have to now look at, because people did not, what stipulations do we want to put around that? So we're working on that, and I'll have that for those people. And those people that were not able to go next year, this year they have a seat next year, and they have a seat into anything I do live. And if it's a paid event or anything, I'm covering that for at least one of the events, because they were not, because I want to ensure that they know that I wanted them in the building if they wanted to be there. And I don't play any games with my word, and I don't play any games with the way that I do things. So we may put a limit on how many tickets people can secure, because it is complimentary. I did not do that. There was just a lot of little things that, I got you for next year, just to ensure that everybody's in there. So if you want to join, it is our Backstage Pass. It is a marketing, public relations, and media group right here on Facebook. It is complimentary. We're going to do pop-up lives, edutainment lives. You'll be the second to know outside of our main group of anything. Community, edutainment, engagement, tips, information, things like that. I will be putting, we'll have a worship song of the week that goes in there. I go live in there. I've gone live in there. Just things like that. So it'll be where we do a lot of the information towards P.O.U.R. But on First Fridays, it will be live on Facebook, YouTube, and inside of the group. All right. I also have a couple more thank yous that I am going to actually post, because I want you guys to see them, click on their links and things like that. So I'll probably have one more post going out tomorrow with those final people in there that I want to thank. Again, for those who came, for those who sewed, for those who supported, even if you wanted to come and you couldn't. I had a lot of people like, I have something going on, but I'm there to support you. I thank you. I thank you just for being there. I thank you for trusting me, even though you ain't know what we was doing. People are like, worship, all right, let's go. What we doing? Trusting me and not knowing what to expect in the space, and allowing God to be God. And I kept telling Christian and Alonzo, I said, we're going to do what we're going to do, but we're going to let God do what he do. We're going to let God be God. And I mean, in most of my messages to them, I said, we're going to do this and then let God be God. See what God does. And we even what people don't realize is, in the middle of the experience, we had to change the whole itinerary because something had happened. And so I was like, yo, we got to change the whole itinerary. And so it was amazing that when I was talking to Prophetess Latanya, who was absolutely amazing. We ain't even gonna go there. I did my public post for her, but Prophetess Latanya and Minister Natasha, when I was talking to Prophetess Latanya, and I was like, yo, we got to change the lineup and the schedule. Me and her were looking at the schedule while worship was going on, and the photographer Jamara, she caught a picture of us looking at the schedule. And for me, it was amazing, because it's going to be a picture that is actually going to be printed out and on my wall, because it's just a memory of how we just said, all right, we switched it up real quick and let God be God. And God was God. Okay. He did his big one in that space. There was not a person in that space that God did not touch. And I truly know that. And I believe that. She said, if you wasn't there this year, don't miss it next year. I know that's right. Don't miss it. I it God did his big one for me, and not in a space of the event itself. It was while he was in there, he downloaded the strategy to the next for me. So that's how I know now it's going to be an 8-month thing, because I got it while I was at port. I actually wrote it down while worship was going on, and that's what I'm saying. You like, get before him. Like, he'll give you an idea, you plan it out, take it back to him, then he'll give you some creative stuff to add to that plan. Like, and that's really how it goes for me, and that's really what I do. you know I don't I say stuff. You know how sometimes people say stuff and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool, but I really wanted y'all to see that this is how I operate and this is what we do. And that my spirit and my heart is always going to be for entrepreneurs. So no, if you saw me on the pulpit, absolutely yes. Have I been licensed as a minister and ordained as a prophet? And have. Am I back to ministering and women's conference and stuff? And no. This is what God has told me to do for entrepreneurs in the space that I am in, with the gifts that he has given me and the things that he is given me, and this is how I'm operating in those spaces in here. Okay. So there are amazing people, prophets and prophetesses out there that could tear the house down at your women's event. Yeah, no, I'm good. That's not where I'm at. But I know that I do have the capability. I know the gifts that God has given me, and I know what he has instilled in me. But at this time, in this space, my heart, my walk, and my service is to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, and where we're going there. So the gift that you were given, yeah, it is what it is. I know I'm very, I hold it back a lot. And they even told me, Friday, like, we seen you holding back, you still holding back. And one day, I'll submit and release all the way in that area as well. But for right now, this is where we're at and this is what we're doing. So I am excited to move forward. I cannot wait to see you guys inside of the group. I hope you guys have your first Friday, because some first Fridays we may have a teaching. I may have somebody come on and give you a business tip. I don't know what it's going to be, but what I will tell you it's going to be is driven and ordained and orchestrated by God, whoever it is, and whatever we're talking about. Again, I want to thank Pastor Sam and Pastor Selena Phillips of Activation Church for allowing us to host Pour there at their amazing facility, which they have the church side, and then they also have an event space right next to it, which will be available for rentals as well. It is a great space. Christian kept saying it was a great space for singers, for practicing and stuff. I guess the acoustics in there was amazing. He was like, as they were practicing, Christian kept saying, I love this space. I love this space. So, he is, not only does he sing, he also is a director. So he has, a group and everything, which actually he's having an event on the 26th. I think it's the 26th. I'll make sure I post his event as well. And some other things. There'll be worship experiences going on around Tampa Bay that I will be at or a part of. And I'll share those things with you. You all know I don't go to everything and I don't show up everywhere. And I'm very specific of where I am because of the space that God has led me. So when I'm doing something or I'm going somewhere, I'll definitely share that and hope you guys can join us there as well. I think that wraps it up. I want to thank, I'm going to actually do another post with our giveaway, the young lady who did all our boxes, all of that, because I want you guys to actually go to their pages and like them and support them as well. So I'll put those on there. But I think that's it, guys. We did it, y'all. God did it. And thank you for everyone who joined us Friday for P.O.U.R 2024. I cannot wait until we launch the 2024-2025 cohort. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the building 1/3/25. So remember, write it down, take a picture. First Fridays and first Friday of the year. first Friday of the year and every first Friday. So our next time collaborating around the P.O.U.R Experience will be February 2nd, which also happens to be my birthday. I take Cash App. What's that song? Cash App. I'm gonna learn how to sing it. I'm gonna sing it for y'all. But thank you again for coming. I appreciate you guys. Jamara's on here, but I'm gonna actually do the whole formal post for her. But Jamara, the images are amazing. I have been getting so many compliments on just somebody told me from Cleveland, they was like, look, I know it was powerful by the images, and that is your eye, that is your vision. So you took the vision of the space and brought it to life through imagery. And I thank you for the gift of who you are. I thank you for the God in you. And I thank you for the gift that God has given you. And I'm just excited about your next. So connect with her for photography, but I'm going to do a post so that you can click on her links and stuff like that. All right, guys. I hope that you guys have an amazing, amazing evening, and I'll talk to you soon. And always remember to pour. And what P.O.U.R stands for is, I hadn't said it out loud to anybody, is presenting. Well, P.O.U.R has two. The Mastermind has an acronym, and the Worship Experience has its own acronym. So the P.O.U.R Worship Experience is presenting our unseen realities to the Lord, which is P.O.U.R. So continue to pour out to him and see what he has to say and listen, and then execute it to the T, because God will always be God with the vision and word that is his. He can't understand something that's not his. All right. Hope you guys have an amazing, amazing evening, and I'll see you on February 2nd.